All right, welcome to step 20. Pretty simple. I'm only going to do a few of the buildings and show you where they go because it's pretty repetitive and there's nothing super duper special about it. These are kind of the chocks, the hold down points, things that are used to secure the load. The first set on this side are more of a chalk sort of hold down point. They're adjustable on the bed. You can see the holes. They have you put them in the center just because that's a good neutral position for them. Not these, but on these lines. However, you can do whatever you want depending on if you're putting in a diorama or something like that. And all that consists of really is taking part P9, clean up both ends on it, take part P29. What I did just to make sure, and part P29 on each of these ends here, as they come down right by where you clip them off, they kind of have some flash, but I'm leaving it on there because when it melts in, when you glue it, it gives it a good look of being welded. It's a nice look for it. I think that might be intentional on the part of Hobby Boss. I'm not 100% sure, but I like how it looks. Not everything, like on here, not everything squeezes together immediately. So once you've glued it, make sure you push it down. But yeah, you just make basically 20 of these things, like so. And then, as has been stated, you end up putting them on here, and this can even be just press fit. They are pretty good, pretty tight. They go on here, and as you can, oh geez, I don't even have it in the camera. Okay, so they go on here at the top. Like I said, that's kind of a good neutral position, but they can be adjusted, flipped around. Consult online images. Anywhere that has, and this would be the number one, anywhere that's got the number one photo etch, you can also put them down in there, wherever they fit. There we go. Like that. That's where some of them go as per the instructions. So that takes care of all of these. You don't even have to put them on if you don't want. And I'll go through this. The other ones these are more adjustable chocks, I believe is what they are. They also have the mounting underneath, but they go right here in between the other ones. And you got to kind of fiddle it around to get it to find it, but they go up on the deck. I'm not 100% sure what these are used for, but they're either mounted on here if they're in use, or if they're being stowed, they get mounted underneath on the part there. The same is going to go for these other ones. Just wanted you to see how that has the three dots underneath, so you're not going to accidentally put it over here. It's not going to fit anywhere because they're equal sized holes and a little offset. So you've got very specific places where you can place any of these. You don't have to put them in this order. It's wherever you want with these parts in this area, for, like I said, for diorama use or whatever. And somebody asked me, well, why did they make all of these little, and I didn't, sorry, I'm not putting this in the camera view. Again, these are the 3 sets of holes for the bottoms of these style. They will only fit in those holes. Somebody was asking me why the D-rings were included separate, and since they're kind of a pain to put in that. And the answer, instead of molding them just directly in there like this, the answer is partly then you can lift them up and use them if you tie down a load. But the other part is that this gives a better 3-dimensional look to the build, and it takes work, but you end up getting a superior product overall. Doesn't always feel that way, but that is what the reasoning is behind it. So I want to put this off to the side. And it's noticeable enough. There's enough of an undercut to those D-rings that you notice that that's been undercut. And so yeah, moving on to the other style. Let's go with this right here. So it's Q41, Q42, Q43, and they all use these P7 for guides, or for teeth. And one thing, taking these off of the P sprue, these things fly. These are like spring loaded in there. You got to be really, really careful taking them off, or you will lose some of these. Second one is, these each have just one, but this one that has two, you want these kind of aligned. So when they're glued on and have sat for a while, I use my forceps and kind of do that, and that lines them up pretty nicely. And you can check and see if they're the way you want them, you know, looking at it this way, make sure that they're too far back and forth, whatever. But that's how I line them up. So let's do one here real quick. Now, to be completely straight up, these P7 parts are not that bad once you have them off the sprue. They themselves are not spring loaded. I mean, against what? But, well, and I've been using forceps to get them. To get them in. But, I gotta do the tip of that when I'm done. There we go. And sorry, I lost my train of thought of what I was talking about before. They're just really, these PT or P7 parts are just really well, they probably molded them where they did because they needed something that was gonna hold them in there tight. And in doing so, inadvertently made them so that when you take them out, they are, you got a lot of potential energy in there waiting to give you a surprise and be flung halfway across your workroom. Don't ask me how I know, I just do. So anyways, what you'll be doing is making two of each of these, what I call half loaded ones. There's the two, call them left-handed ones. Here's the two right-handed ones. They're just numbers. There's no difference in the P7, so it's pretty straightforward. You gotta work to make a mistake. Same thing with the chocks down here. There's no front or back on anything. There's just the two bolts on this side, and honestly, that's not going to mean anything when you're putting P29 on the actual cover. I'm not sure what to call it. The chalk part, the U shape, the molding, yeah, whatever. So I've got these drying right there again, just because I'm going to eat up a little bit of time while I'm waiting for that to dry a little bit more and show you. All I'm doing is taking it, no front or back, just snapping it in place like so. And then I'm just running glue here and here. And then making sure it's down. And that's it. So I've got this. You can see that the teeth don't necessarily want to just line up, and then I just pinch it and check it, pinch it. There we go. But I'm moving them while I'm pinching them. There we go. And that takes care of that. So that's step 20. I'll finish building all of these here and these other two here, and I'll see you for step 21.